Hello, I'm Miss Kennedy, and I have had many great people coming back and giving me feedback on the videos and what you understand, what you don't. Of course, then there's the part that makes it a little more complicated because I've added in the mix, the box violin with these things. Last week's video was about the box, and there's so much more to go over, what we could work on there. But I didn't cover the bow, so today's video is about the bow, among some other things that come from questions from you guys. One of the things that we're trying to achieve here with the bow is a bow hold, as well as the sense of what we call bow distribution. The bow hold you can do on anything. You can do it on a stick, you can do it on your toothbrush, you could do it on a chopstick, you could do it. We were practicing in class putting them on bananas. We were practicing putting them on straws. So anything that fits in your children's hands, you could even do it on your own finger, works. So today I will demonstrate how to make a good bow hold, so you can do this with your child at home. First of all, hold the bow or the item in the left hand. Okay, it doesn't matter what this hand is doing. It does matter what this hand is doing. We're working on our turns and flops. So this hand should be very, very relaxed. I think I've mentioned before that kind of like a noodle, very relaxed. A lot of people try to place fingers and are very tense. We're working on relaxation, as most of the violin playing is supposed to be easy. We complicate things when we have tension. So we're working on that, building that into your children's muscle memory right now. So turning, relaxing, turning towards the index finger and plopping on the item. Let me do that again. That wasn't a very good example. Turn and plop. Okay. Now many of you have rubber bands. If you don't have rubber bands on your bows, simply add some at one end or the other. Turn and plop. Now the pinky, I have one rubber band on there because then it gives you a little bit of grippage. Okay, if it's on the stick or whatever, the pinky tends to fall off. On the violin bows, they're octagonal, so there is a little bit of gripping naturally. So the pinky, I say, goes on the log. It should be round, and you should have a happy bob. You've probably seen plenty of happy bobs on the bows. In fact, maybe too many that just stay stuck. I had the wrong pen for the longest time, so I apologize for those of you who received lots of happy bobs and violins in the hands that didn't come off. Now I think I have the appropriate pen. Side rant. Anyway, pinky on the lock, happy bob. We want the thumb across from the second finger. Now the thumb is the fulcrum. The thumb is the thing that the bow moves around on like that. So it should always be relaxed, but it's not stagnant. When we bow later on, we will actually have a lot of motion. In fact, you've probably seen your children working on a doggy sniff. That is the same action and similar to what the bow will look like later on. So we're preparing them for success right now with very simple exercises. So the thumb is the fulcrum. The pinky actually is kind of like the rudder. It actually changes the way your bow moves horizontally. Okay. This one, you need to watch that it's never gripping. This one tends for everybody to become a hook, a very hard hook. We always want that one. I actually go up to the kids and I do a little flick of those fingers. These two, on the other hand, are kind of like the seat belts. I always call them the seat belts. And I make the sound effect that goes like this, to pull in at the nail joint in a relaxed manner, but still strong enough that they fully have it. The bow always should be held at a fairly relaxed state anyway. So if I was to tap this, it's not actually being held that hard. So never tension, never hardness. I always tell them a soft plop. Soft turn and plop. You can also see what I call windows. A lot of people want to do this or that. Just whatever your hand generally does in a relaxed way is exactly what you want on your bow. You'll also notice the next thing here is 4 lines, or you may have some strips pasted on there. What those are is preparing your child for bow distribution. Bow distribution is the idea that we actually need to have to choose where our bow goes. A lot of people just bow and they hope that the bow is at the tip or at the frog, or they don't even think about it. But we want to get your children aware of what they're doing, and that comes into play with the building their neural pathways and other things for other things. Being very aware. So it applies more to than just violin. We have little bunny hop hop. So you have 4 here. You go to the first quarter. For the last 2, it's the whole. Little bunny hop hop. Of course, you can practice this in the air. Little bunny hop hop. So little, little, big. Big. You could practice it with your finger. Little bunny hop hop. You could practice it in so many different ways. There's a million exercises it could give you. But you just need to be aware of how to use that. Some other things that you want to keep in mind with the bow is these are actually about the same weight as what your child would have if they had a real bow. So you will see, I'll use my own bow here. If you have a real bow, use it. The thumb goes on the silver clip. Okay, later your bow thumb will go in here, but for small young hands, tension often develops in here. This often helps shape the hand early on. I tell them later on they will earn their professional bow hold. This is the baby bow hold or beginner's bow hold, depending on which child it is, and that's where you place it. So if you turn your bow this way, you will see my muscle popping out here. Now, if we always keep our bow or the stick horizontal, you will develop a tendency to have a lot of tension in the hand. So I always want you to try to hold up the bow with the other hand and then gently plop it there so that there's no tension whatsoever. Then turn it this way. If it's turned this way, this muscle should be so relaxed. Okay, if it's turned this way, it has to pop out. Okay. Now, there are some things you can do with your real bow as well as your stick bow. Windshield wipers. We haven't done them much in class, but they are coming. You can help your child by working on them whenever you want. Now, windshield wipers, we start with it straight up and down, totally relaxed. Turn, 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 turn. And you have to learn to have some tension here, and then once it touches the finger, relaxing. So that if I was to remove my finger, it would fall. Okay? We want to learn relaxation, tension, relaxation. Usually what it looks like is tension, 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 tension all the time. So that's something you can do with the real bow. If you have a real violin, you can always bring it to me. I will tune it for you. I will fix it up for you. Or if you have questions about getting a real violin, I will help size your child and help you choose the right brand. Some are better than others, and some of them are the same cost, even though one's better than the other. If you already have a real violin, I suggest getting some straws and sticking it in the F hole, we call it. Okay, this one might be a little bit too big. I'll put it in my violin here. And this part of the F hole, not this part, because this is where the bow will go. It will help your child immensely direct the bow, so that the bow, without the straw, will sometimes go. Okay, with the straw, they can feel confident in making tuna sounds right here. A couple of you have asked, what is appropriate for my children? I'm giving many examples of what you can do at home. Not all of the examples are ready for all the children. So if you have questions, come and talk to me. But the general rule of thumb is, do all of them if your child is capable of doing them or wants to do them. But if they don't, and they're struggling, don't do it. And I will happily support them in class. Or you can come talk to me about it, and you can learn how to support your child as well. Some exercises that are really useful, that are easy for you to do at home, are doggy sniff with the bow hand. I put dots here, and I tell them to put the fingers together. And here's what we do. Chomp, chomp, sniff, sniff, wiggle, wiggle, and bop, bop. Now, that coordination can be very challenging. The two most basic pillars of violin playing in the beginning, other than rhythm and pitch, is holding the bow and holding the violin. This exercise, chomp, chomp, will help them with the coordinating fingers. Sniff, sniff is also, like I said, going to have some motion. And bop, bop. Now, a lot of people were like, what? Why that? It's because there's usually tension in the wrist, and we want to just let them know that there is motion here and it should be relaxed. The wiggle wiggle is the control of the outside fingers and can be a challenge for early beginners because it takes a lot of coordination. Another one that you can do, of course, is this one. This is going to work on their bow distribution. Little bunny hop, hop. Again, that's their, I'm mirroring, but it would be with their bow arm. So for them, the left hand would be out, the right hand would be here. We want to keep this, I call this the tickle spot, should stay open, and this should be fairly flat and relaxed. Always no shoulders up, just relax. Little bunny hop, hop. The last couple things I want to mention are, like I said, the two biggest pillars of early violin playing is holding the bow, as well as holding the violin. Now, we are really working with your children right now to go from rest position to playing position. So they are working on a rest position, rest position song. Rest position, feet in line. And of course, it can be done with the box violin as well. Scroll in front, that's mighty fine. Check your bridge, 'cause it should be peeking out at you and me. Now it's time to take a bow. Ichi, ni, and sun is how. And then they grab the violin with their violin hand. You will see violins on one hand. Grab the violin's bottom shoulder with the left hand or the violin hand, and violin out. Turn head up to look at the button, so if there's room here, and up on the shoulder. Again, I've mentioned not on the wall, but on the table. So covering that shoulder. If the violin is a little bit here, I often will say, don't let me tickle your shoulder. Cover that shoulder with the violin. And then, if they can let go and it's nice and flat, you can put a stuffy right here. You can put on a song, see how long they can hold it. And again, it should never be in any position that you wouldn't walk down the street with. So, I hope this helps you. I really enjoyed working with all your children, and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.